in 3 counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, though? It is Thursday. It is fight week. We got Clarissa Shields, Franchon Crews Dezurn 2 this Sunday, Little Caesars Arena, live here from Detroit. We will be in the building for that. You've got on Friday, you've got clipped fights at the Motor City Casino soundboard. Saturday, you got the Juggalos coming through. Whoop, whoop. Got that coming through Saturday, and I might even check out some arm wrestling. So I'm going to be like as deep in fights and wrestling as you
arm
can.
Wrestling. Wait, what's this?
Yeah, dude. Past
like
guest of the show, my coach, Big Don, is going to be arm wrestling on Saturday. So I'm going to slide through that shit real quick before I go to
What's up?
Juggalo Championship Wrestling at the world famous Harpo's.
Arm wrestling, dude. Huh? I haven't seen that like ever. I don't think like the movie. You remember the movie Over the Top with Stallone? that's what I picture right now. That's dope. Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be all over the place. What's new in the world of J-Bone? Corey's trying to be Luigi Primo, but something tells me Luigi's pizza is better.
At this point, I'm just trying to stay awake during the day and make it through these gloomy days, get to this warm weather so we can get some summer concerts in, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, trying to keep up with the wrestling, the MMA, just doing the thing. Stay busy out here. You know how it goes.
Absolutely. How are you feeling about the events of this weekend, man? We're going to be a Little Caesars, another fight night, going to be live on DAZN. If you can't make it out to Little Caesars, if you're here in Detroit, you need to be down there this Sunday.
Hey, you know how it is on Detroit, man, when the boxing fights roll through. Everybody dresses nice, gets all glammed up. We go see the GWOAT. Last time we walked out with it. Pull the buffs out in the mink coats, man. It might be a little warm this time around, but it'll be all right. It's a good time. Always a good time at these fights, man. Especially in the D. You never know how people are going to be dressing down there. So good time.
Hell yeah, man. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it, but we got a lot to talk about tonight. Corey's going to join us in a little bit, so we'll get to talking about some of the fight and stuff. So let's start on wrestling end of things. J-Bone, which topic do you think we should cover first today?
Let's see, man. Well, let's just go right into what is on the top of my list of things going on in the world of wrestling right now, and I think it's the Masked Man. We got to know what's going on with this Masked Man on Raw against the Vision. I love these kind of stories, though. I do love the intrigue. I don't know where they're going. I don't know if they know where they're going with it yet. But the mystery intrigue going into PLEs now, that's something I'm digging. So I know what the internet rumors are saying and who it is and who's under this mask.
What are your thoughts on who's in the who or what is in the box, and what do you think needs to be in the box?
So I had a conversation earlier. I don't think there needs to be a person in this box, and I hope it's not a person in this box, because delivering a box to the show, a week and a half, 2 weeks out, and then open it and there's just a guy in there or a girl. Logic wouldn't really make sense. Don't open until the 28th. There's just somebody sitting in there waiting, right? Wouldn't make any sense. But in that box, I feel like we need a clue to something bigger, whether that be a clue to the Masked Man, a clue to a debut that night. We just need a clue of something. It just can't be a person, dude. That's not going to do it for me. Imagine somebody rolls out the box on Elimination Chamber on like a dolly or a high-low, and Brock Lesnar just kicks through it. Like, you've been sitting in there for 2 weeks? What are you doing?
So you don't think it could be a person? I tend to agree. I don't know that I necessarily think it's going to be a person. But if not a person, like, what do you think we could see in there? And what are some of your guesses as to who this box can be leading to?
It's got to be a clue to somebody. So if it's like I said, if it's a debut that night, it'd have to happen that night. I would imagine. If we're waiting to open it at the Elimination Chamber, it's got to like come to a climax there. So maybe they open the box and there's like the Masked Man's clothing or something. Like the mask is off.
So you think this has got to do with the Masked Man?
I think so.
See, then we're already on a different.
Tell me your thoughts. I love.
I don't think this. Hey yo, what up, dude? Shout out to our sponsor, Michigan Street Unlimited. Autorama's coming next weekend, and I heard that Trish Stratus is going to be at the Autorama this year.
Really?
Devin's
got to come through.
Right as a damn Christmas tree. Look at him. What up, Chris? Checking in from Boston. What do you think, Chris? What do you think is going to be in the crate? Who should be in the crate? What should be in the crate? All of you guys, as you join the stream, make sure you please like it and share it out on your pages, whatever you're watching on, so that people can know that we're live, because StreamYard doesn't always like to tell everybody when we're live. Yeah. Oh, shit, it's Trish and Kevin Nash. Look at there.
Whoa. Kevin Nash getting a little
He's been getting some heat lately, ain't he?
Heat, yeah, and rightfully so. The guy, I mean, look, I'll just come out and say it. I like Kevin Nash. Always been a fan of Kevin Nash, but dog, you got to know you're on a big platform, and you got to think before you speak. And I don't feel like he does. So, hey, man,
he usually doesn't get involved in stuff like that. Right. But yeah, that one didn't go.
You can't say certain things. It's just, bro, come on, you gotta hire.
Oh yeah,
hire
dude, he definitely shouldn't have said what he said.
Right. So you need to hire somebody to filter what you're doing or something, man, because that's a surefire way to get put out of the wrestling community. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I still like Kevin Nash, but yeah, it's definitely one of those. But I mean, I feel like, and again, I'm not excusing it at all, because it was definitely not in the best taste. We're talking about the Bojangles comments towards Javon Evans. But yeah, it was tone deaf. I still like Kevin Nash, but yeah, to your point, yeah, you got to be more careful about that. But as far as to what I think can be in the box, I think as far as the box goes, it's got to be something big. I don't think it has anything to do with the Masked Man. I think the Masked Man is like its own separate thing. You heard Cody, make sure you come check him out at Autorama. Check him out, Michigan Street Unlimited. Right. I don't know, man. So I think the division thing is going to be completely separate. I think that more likely we'll get into. We talked a little bit about who the Masked Man is. This is tough, right? Like, I don't think it has anything to do with the Vision storyline. I think those will be completely separate. I kind of agree with what Cody said, to be honest. And I don't necessarily think it means that he is going to be in the box, but I think we could maybe see I think we're going to see Chris Jericho come out of this.
Maybe it's like his jacket.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the light up. Like you hear Cody in the comments. I think
the box is Jericho. Love it.
I think that it could be like the light up jacket. It could be
some kind of Easter egg, huh? To leading back to Jericho. I love that.
I don't know. I'm still leaning towards Chris Jericho, but then there's also been like the rumors of like there being time added to his contract, because of being gone or whatever. So, but last I thought he was done with AEW, but nobody really knows.
I've heard numerous rumors, man, but nobody really knows for a fact until things happen. You know what I mean? So, for one, I've always been a Jericho guy, and he's got some of the greatest entrances and comebacks of all time in WWE, bro. So I'm with that. Now, one thing I did see circulating on Twitter X was, if it were to be a person, one person that I would actually be okay with it being, it would logically make funny sense. I don't know what his contract situation is. I don't know what's going on with him, but Danhausen.
No.
I would totally love that if Danhausen.
But you got to think about it in this sense, bro. Like WWE, no offense, I love Danhausen too, especially Danhausen.
I just don't think it makes sense at the Chamber though. So that's where it's
Well, not only that, I mean, again, no disrespect intended towards Danhausen at all, because I'm a fan of Danhausen, but WWE fans aren't going to know Danhausen.
No.
There's not going to be like this big pop like when everybody was excited about him being in AEW. That's not going to happen in WWE. I mean,
I'd love to see him pop up on NXT, but yeah, I don't think. Like I said, if it was a box thing like that, that would be the only guy that would be like, "Ha, Danhausen." That's funny. Anybody else, I can't.
Like diehards, like the diehard wrestling fans would like it, but I just don't think it's going to have as big an impact in WWE, because I don't think that as many people from WWE, know who it is. It'll be interesting because we got to see what they're going to do with it. Remember, they said they're shipping the box to SmackDown on Friday, so we'll see what, if anything, develops with the box.
Yeah, maybe they ship it to NXT. Maybe Nick Aldis is like, just ship it to NXT. You know what I mean? Who knows?
I mean, might as well.
Plenty of things we could do here. We just don't know. Remains to be seen. But I'm with you. I would love to see the jacket of Jericho be in that box, or some kind of Easter egg leading back to Chris Jericho.
Absolutely, dude. I would love to see that be Chris Jericho.
Break the box down.
Break the box down. All right. So now we've talked about the box. What are your thoughts on this AJ tribute show, and what do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think for what it is, if he's coming, if he's going to be there on Monday, because did they say it's just a tribute thing, or they didn't actually say like appearance by AJ Styles? So
they didn't say anything about that, but you can't do that.
You can't really expect that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like Gunther's going to be involved again, because let's get more heat on Gunther. Why not? And maybe if AJ's there, maybe he announces that he's going to TNA or whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe I can't see them. There's a reason they're doing this. It's got to lead to something else. And there's been really no speculation on him actually retiring yet. So, or maybe Gunther just comes out like it's time to pay tribute to AJ Styles, and Gunther just walks out like, screw you type thing. Who knows?
I don't think that this is the end for AJ Styles. No way do I think this is the end for AJ Styles. I don't.
Not that abruptly.
Well, Cody says he thinks he's going to surprise and attack Gunther, which, I mean, I think there's got to be interaction between him and Gunther given everything that's happened. I don't know what that looks like. And it's like, there's got to be that interaction, but the fact that he didn't take the gloves off has just kind of got me like, okay, dude, there's got to be something there. You know what I mean? Like, I could understand, like, if you don't want to do like a WWE thing, you know what I mean? If you don't want to do a WWE thing, but at the same time, like, then there's the Stephanie McMahon podcast where, they went on and on about the never say never and how everybody gets to come back at least once and all that kind of stuff. I don't think this is the end. I don't know what we're going to see from the tribute show.
Would you like to see some TNA guys pop up on there?
I mean, I think it would only be fitting I think it would be cool given the crossover, but I still, bro, there's still part of me that really want to see him wrestle in TNA before he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Like, I just feel like if you do his last run without anything in TNA, especially given the crossover with them in WWE now, I don't know, man.
And like I said, it's he's lingering around for a reason. You know what I mean? It's not like he lost and we just never see him again. He's retired. That's not the case. So they got something in the works. Something's being planned, I think. So
I'm with it.
I do think Gunther's going to be heavily involved on Monday, though. Heavily involved.
Has to be. Can't not be, especially if he's in the building. You can't act like he's not the guy who did the shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Ay, boy. AJ isn't done wrestling, but he'll be under a different company. Yeah, I can see it being TNA, bro. But I just don't know how you get there given like the whole retirement thing. What if Gunther showed up in TNA somehow?
Hey, man.
You know,
Heading
TNA
into
wants to
Mania
give him.
season, heading into Mania season, I think all bets are off. There ain't no limit to what they can do. So
I think they need to do a few things to kind of put some more spark into this WrestleMania build, bro.
yeah, I do too.
I don't know how that looks or what that's gonna be, but
I'm cool with the CM Punk Roman Reigns main event. I think that is an all-star caliber main event, and there's a lot of story there. But if everything else around that, I don't feel like we have the proper build yet. Maybe it's just we're scooting along slowly. We got to get through Chamber, but I'm not particularly excited for WrestleMania yet. And usually it don't take much for me to be excited about WrestleMania, but right now I'm just like,
we will be once it gets closer because it's WrestleMania.
yeah.
But it definitely doesn't have the same hype that it typically has.
Right. That's where I'm at. So it all just remains to be seen, man. You just gotta take the slow burns and fucking see where we go with it.
Slow burns, kind of like Corey's Pizza, but
Corey's Pizza.
That shit was amazing.
How was
By
that?
the way,
great.
Real good. I just want
don't let him
to
lie
shout
to you,
out.
Burnt it.
Yeah. No, fuck no, I didn't. Actually, I kept having to stick it back in the oven because I undercooked it a little bit at first. But yeah, you can always fix undercooked is the thing, right? You can always fix that. No, shout out Villa Bakery out in Westland, man. If anybody ever is out that way, nice little Italian bakery joint. They got all the pepperoni rolls and all that shit for lunch. But
dang,
where'd you say?
Take home pizza is the real move because it's like a actual bakery full size sheet of pizza for like $15.
Which place are you talking about?
Villa Bakery over on.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Capri Bakery, man. That's the one my dad and I used to go to all the time. Capri's.
Yeah, I go to
hungry.
Yeah, I go to Capri's all the time too. But I don't know, man. Villa might be the one, dude.
Hey,
they got a lot. They got a lot
bro.
more options. They got a lot more options at Villa.
Fuck that.
You guys just sparked an internet debate now. Here you go.
Yeah.
Anybody who's in Michigan, if you've been to Capri Bakery, do you agree or disagree with me?
Capri might have quality. I don't know though, because that pepperoni roll earlier was slapping, dude. So and then I got the pizza for dinner too, and that also slapped. I don't know.
If y'all go to these bakeries, make sure you tag us in a photo. Yeah. Now we gotta know.
Fuck you, Corey.
Know what's
up. I've never been to Villas, but all I know is the pepperoni rolls from Capri Bakery are fire. Yeah. All right.
We're about to make a trip.
I don't know, man, but back to what we were talking about. I definitely feel like there needs to be some more spark to WrestleMania. I definitely think that there needs to be I think the Punk and Roman match is a good thing to do it. But there's got to be more to it. There needs to be more to the build. Like we were just saying before Corey jumped on here, I definitely will. We're still going to be excited for it. Still going to be hyped for it. Although now I just found out I'll be calling fights on night one, so I'll probably be watching it later. But
Vegas is off limits for you this year.
Oh, I already decided that a while ago. Okay. Yeah, it just going to Vegas 2 years in a row, and I'm not hyped about this one that.
Doubling up. Oof.
Literally.
Vegas on Vegas, baby.
Like I said, dude,
that's a lot of cash to be blown, and that's someone like yourself, Kyle, who isn't even necessarily led to all the temptations that a Vegas trip can be. For some of these wrestling fans, I mean,
dude, if you look at these prices, you look at some of these prices, bro.
Yeah,
crazy, man. It is crazy.
Like I said, bro, the move when it comes to WrestleMania tickets is the week of and the day of, bro. Mm-hmm. That's the move when it comes down to tickets for me. But like I said, at the end of the day, dude, I think it's still gonna be dope. I mean, but my question for you, J-Bone, is where does Cody Rhodes end up with all this?
Oh, he's going to be taking on Drew in the main event of night 1.
Is that what you want to see again, though? Because they've done that a bunch of times.
No, not particularly, but I think that's where because I can't imagine Cody not in a WrestleMania main event because he still is the top guy.
He is. He's still QB1, even if he ain't got the belt.
I can't imagine him not being in a main event situation, especially WrestleMania. So, but I would like to. I don't think it has to be just him and Cody. I think a triple threat match with Jacob Fatu would be really dope, and I think that would add to a lot of that story.
I want to see Jacob Fatu in something big this year for WrestleMania. Right, I'll tell you that right now.
We would be doing a lot if we somehow got Jacob Fatu and Cody and Drew in the main event.
I most certainly want to see Jacob Fatu in something dope. All grass, no breaks with it. All gas, no breaks with it, man. You know what time it is. All right, dude. We've talked about the crates. We've talked about all that stuff. It is about to be fight night in the Motor City. But before we talk about the Motor City, again, if you guys are going to be at the Autorama, check out our friends at Michigan Street Unlimited. They are going to have their spot there. Check out Freight Train. Check out the whole fleet of cars. Shout out to our guy, Cody Caudill. Make sure you go check them out. Tell them that you saw it on Knockouts and 3 Counts. But, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to the Autorama. It doesn't have the same hype as it used to, but something I still love doing every year. So once again, shout out to our sponsors, Michigan Street Unlimited. Make sure you check out the link, check their stuff out on Facebook. All right. It is fight week. We're going to talk about Clarissa Shields and what's going to go down with her and Franchon Crews Dezurn this Sunday at Little Caesars Arena. But before we get there, it's been announced that we are going to see the return of both Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano for a fight, and it's coming up a lot quicker than maybe I would have expected with something like that being announced.
What's the date for that?
It's I want to say May, I thought I saw.
Okay.
May 16th, I thought.
On Netflix. Well, what's the promotion? I forgot.
MVP.
Okay.
It's Jake Paul and them.
Jake Paul and them, yeah. Okay, so I guess what did it come down to, boys? Somebody got paid, right?
Well, so, they got paid,
not only that, what I'm really curious about with all this is what does it end up being in the long run? Is it, like you say, yeah, somebody got paid. I mean, for sure, right? But Netflix is throwing around money for all these events. I mean, we've seen a ton of expedition and boxing matches that don't really mean that much. That's what Netflix has brought so far. I feel like if they start to venture into MMA, though, it could be.
But even at that, though, have you not looked into what they're going to put on the undercard of this?
I haven't seen anything announced yet. No.
All the things that I've seen rumored, I don't know that I want to see.
That's what I mean. Oh, like that, huh?
Yeah, I don't. And
yeah.
Throw me some rumors here. What are we talking?
They're talking about BJ Penn versus Jens Pulver.
Oh God.
Yeah, you can't do that one. That's too far.
They were talking about Hoist Gracie versus Chemo.
Yeah, that's insane, bro.
I'm just saying these are the things I'm hearing rumored. These aren't for real, but I'm just saying, bro, if that's the undercard, I don't want to see that.
BJ Penn. No, it'll be anywhere near anything that can touch his head, dude.
It'll be in my eyes at least, it'll be not every, but because there's, of course, not everyone's available at that time, but it'll be most of the open market top MMA fighters is what I think. I think it'll be a potentially.
To your point of what you think about what you just said. You just said yourself that most of the fights that Netflix has put out so far has been like a nostalgia thing where it's people that don't really need to be in the ring or two old people in the ring. So what's to say that they wouldn't do that on the MMA side?
I think there's a lot more to be lost, in an MMA fight than there typically is,
There's more to be lost in an MMA fight than somebody like Mike Tyson getting embarrassed on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, because he's 60 and he literally turned and showed his ass.
I don't give a
He-
fuck. So
Hey,
Royce
remember that
Gracie's
everything that
60.
happened-
What do you
Everything that
mean?
happened after that fight too, the fact that he said he didn't remember all of it, like, dude, we're
Yeah.
not doing anything good here. Like,
So-
yeah, you got paid, bro, but in the end, at the very end,
And I'm
you-
not mad
you
at
lost
Mike
a
for
lot more
doing
than
it,
just
bro.
the
But
fight.
what I'm saying here is, how is Mike Tyson getting punched in the face any worse than Royce Gracie getting punched in the fucking face, or chemo for that matter?
They ain't gonna get BJ Penn on the card. First of all, that dude's in too much trouble.
That's another one. BJ
mental
Penn
illness
is in
going
the
on, bro.
news every other week for punching somebody in Hawaii, and now
Yeah.
you're telling me you're gonna put him back in the fucking
Hey,
cage after all that?
That ain't gonna happen.
Hey, it sounds like he's still in fighting shape. That's what I'm hearing.
Shut
That's
the
what
fuck up.
No. In all
Again, now
seriousness-
all these fights were
in all
just rumored.
seriousness, though,
All these fights were just rumored things, but I'm just saying, given
Yeah.
the fact that what we've already seen with, like we said, the Mike Tyson fight, or hell, I love Roy Jones Jr., but Roy
think
Jones Jr.
I
was
think
old.
it'll be a better. I think it'll be a better version of a game bred MMA type of event where you'll get
I
like
hope so. I mean,
like a
like I
Junior
said-
Dos Santos, and you'll get like what's like Tanner Bozer or whatever, like the couple guys that have left the UFC in the last 5 years that somewhat still retain some kind of name value. You might get a couple of higher level ones that come out of retirement for something like this, but I
That comment.
sure the hell
Key to
hope
victory
not.
right there. The key to victory. All you gotta do is punch the guy and don't get hit, and you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Goddamn, if I'd have knew that, maybe I'd be a world champ right now.
Exactly. It's the keys to victory.
I'm
Punch, you
just
don't get
saying,
hit.
dude.
I think
I
it's
just
going to
know-
be, like I say, I think that's what we're looking at for undercard is something like that. Maybe something that like GFL was trying to do, a year ago, where it was like a bunch of these guys that, same type of, imagine all that AI poster that came out of all the video of all the guys in their armor and shit.
Yeah.
That's who we're getting on our undercard for this, I would imagine.
I don't know, but all
Are
I'm
you guys
saying is,
intrigued by the comeback of Ronda Rousey though at all? Are you guys
I
excited
like
for
the
that?
look. The fight in and of itself, I'm okay with, for the simple fact that they've both been away from MMA for a long time.
Long time.
At least
Let me sip my little juicy.
the fact that they've both been away for a while, and it's not like Ronda just retired and then Gina's been sitting down for 10 years. I'm okay with that part. At least that makes the fight kind of like more on an even playing field. I was always a fan of Gina Carano back in the Strike Force days.
Mm-hmm.
I think like her,
wasn't?
Ronda,
Yeah.
Misha Tate, like those were like the ones that, really started putting like women's MMA and stuff like that on the mainstream. So for as far as to who you're going to have do the fight, I think it's a decent matchup. I think it's a fair matchup for given how long they both been out. Cody, that brings up, like one of the points of what we were going to need to talk about too. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on what she says as far as, reaching out to Dana and things didn't go well with Dana? Like, I don't know. You would have thought, like, with the whole Paramount thing, that Paramount would have been like, fuck yeah, pay him.
Yeah, I'm surprised, right? I've seen this fight argued in so many different ways, right? And one thing that really surprised me that's being brought up is the fact that this potentially might be the most watched MMA event of the year. And whether you like that or not, that might be the facts. You can put on whatever world champ against whatever world champ, but when you talk about
But do you
Netflix
think that
involved,
they're going to
you
still
talk
sell
about
like that in 2026 when both of them have been out of the cage for that?
There is no sell. There is no. It's just you got to tune in. There is no buy. There is no give us
right. I'm
$89,
saying sell as far as getting somebody to want to watch the shit.
I think there's still a lot of girls that were really inspired by Ronda Rousey. They'll be immediately wanting to tune in. I think there's still a lot of die-hard fans like us that are going to tune in anyway. I think you're going to break viewership records or anything like that? No, necessarily. I don't. But I definitely think it's an intriguing enough matchup for the general public to be like, oh, I remember her. Oh, I actually remember the other girl a little bit too from, Disney and from Star Wars and,
Yeah.
So there's a real chance that it'll draw in the casuals like that. For somebody like myself, he posed
you
the
think
question
it's
of
still-
like
but-
what my thought is on the fight itself. And I think it's I'm not that I'll watch it is how I feel. I'll watch it.
Sure, I'm gonna
not,
watch it too, but
but
I'm just saying, like, okay. While I think it'll still do well, just something tells me that, like, as much as we just said that the matchups and the boxing fights were part of what was the problem, I think the freak show of those fights is what made a bunch of motherfuckers watch because of all the mainstream. I don't know if that's going to be the same thing, but that's why, it makes you wonder if matchups like what they were saying was going to happen really were the matchups that are being proposed. I mean, again, I don't know if that's got any truth to them, but it makes you wonder if those are the kind of matchups that they're going to want to put on it to make people be like, holy shit, he's fighting on top of this, and you're going to get Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey. Like, I mean, they got to do something to make you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing that we were talking about with WrestleMania. You got to put something on there to make people watch it. There's enough to make people want to watch just because it's WrestleMania. There's enough that'll make people want to watch just because of who's in the cage. But you still got to have a rest of a card, at least a couple more fights, and it can't just be Joe anybody, I feel like.
And it can't be BJ Penn, damn it. Don't do that to him.
For real.
Leave that man alone, bro.
I feel like that would be scary.
That would be criminal. Downright criminal to put him back in the cage, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Jens Pulver back in the cage. Jens Pulver looks a lot like, real chill. Like, again, I don't know how much he's training now, but I just I'm
trying to think of a potential name that could just be on there that would, like you said, Kyle, snag some viewership and pull some people in. I'm just throwing names. I don't even know contracts, but what about like Nick or Nate Diaz?
I could see it if Nate, or like I could see it more so with Nate, maybe with Nick with like the comeback story of it, but I mean,
I
don't know, man. That's what's tough about it, because unfortunately, not that it's not this way with boxing, but it just seems so much with MMA that when people get out, like they're like either completely done with it, or if they come back, it like they were already beat up and whatever. Mm-hmm. So like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know necessarily that I'm expecting like the world's most quality of like fight cards, but at the same time, I just don't even know what to say to like put on that, because I mean, realistically, anybody whose big names is going to be mostly signed by the UFC. And then like those that aren't signed under like fighter contracts are most of them going to be signed under like ambassador contracts and stuff like that, which means those are probably going to take those people out of it too. So I just feel like the pool of people that's going to give you to choose from to try to like put this together.
Yeah.
I
take Paul too. I feel like, so if it's available, he's going to pull out all the stops. You know what I mean?
That's why, like, that's the thing that scares me, is that the freak show matchups aren't that out of the realm of what about
what's Francis Ngannou's status on everything and contracts and all that?
Wouldn't that be a son of a bitch, dude?
That'd be a good name to pull in there.
That's the one match that I kind of seen being thrown around, because the UFC was interested in Rico Van Hooven, the Glory kickboxing long-running champ. Dude. Yeah, and if they can make him versus Ngannou as the co-main or whatever on that, card, you're talking a real fight,
Puff up the value of this fight.
Big time, man.
I would like that. I'd like to see Ngannou back in the ring again before he gets
let's just find everybody that Dana White has had beef with.
That's what I mean. It's literally gonna be the fucking GFL and like the remaining top, it's the top free agents of the market.
Speaking of free agents, shout out to our guy Mitch McKee, who just signed with PFL. But go ahead.
Yeah. Good for him, man. Finally.
I don't know why he wasn't signed by the UFC, but that's a
I don't get that either. But I just feel like, I don't know, man. It's gonna be this boiled down version of, like I say, like a game bred MMA or something. It's gonna be the same type of deal. MMA is the biggest, smallest sport in the world. I feel like from what it feels like, at least with all the amount of talent pool and stuff out there, I feel like legitimate top level guys that have already somewhat garnered a name for themselves and are still in an athletic enough state, there's under 1,000, and that's including under the UFC banner, and they have what, 500-600 of them. So that only leaves, in my eyes, realistically, maybe 500-600 other athletes out there in the world that have some type of marketable value already, that aren't just prospects working their way up trying to get to the UFC,
Right. Have we heard anything as far as Dana White's thoughts on Ronda Rousey's return? Has anybody seen anything?
No.
I'm sure the question's going to get asked eventually, maybe at the next
Right.
presser. But what do you think he thinks about it all, or does he even give a shit?
I mean,
he gives a shit, and people have asked. I haven't heard much of what he said regarding that fight, but I heard him say that he thought that it was bullshit. It was bullshit when they were talking about her possibly fighting Katie Taylor, which, if they're not fighting an MMA fight, Ronda Rousey's going to get killed.
Yeah. Hey.
All right. Now we got to get into talking about what's going down this Sunday. We've got Clarissa Shields is stepping back into the ring. The GOAT once again stepping into the ring, this time with an old rival in undisputed super middleweight champ Franchon Crews Dezurn, as they run it back. They fought 10 years ago in their pro debuts. Franchon's gone on, won a lot of belts. Clarissa's obviously gone on, won a lot of belts. We've gotten to cover a lot of those fights. We will be doing coverage on this fight. Stay tuned for some of the stuff from the open workout and all that stuff. And then the fight's going down on Sunday. Before we get into talking about some of the topics, both of you guys, what are your thoughts really on this opponent? Where are your thoughts on this matchup versus like the last few fights that we've seen from Clarissa? Do you sense a different vibe to this fight, since different than the last few that we've covered?
For myself, at least, I feel like there is a little bit of a spin because of the fact, this is a rematch. So it's starting to feel like, you could be blamed for thinking they're starting to dig into the talent pool. They're running out of matchups, This is actually, though, one of the best matchups that they can make for her. So even though it is digging into the rematch pool and so on, it has allowed enough time between the two fights to really, for both athletes to go down totally different, career paths and stuff like that. Like you say, both becoming champs, and it's allowed this fight to become a different thing than it was the first time. So in my eyes, like I say, it's ultimately one of the best fights that you can make for Clarissa. But I could see where somebody who maybe didn't know, or whatever the case, could say, it's just a rematch of somebody she already beat,
J-Bone, what do you think?
I mean, it's 10 years later. We can't expect
the
same fight. They both, their careers have since then grown a lot. So I'm intrigued by the matchup. I think, like Corey said, it's probably the best one you can make right now. We'll see what happens after.
I agree in the sense that not only is she a former undisputed champ herself, she's also an Olympian too. And they talked about that a lot at the press conference at the auto show, which if you guys are new here and missed it, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you can see it. But she talked about that. And I think that Clarissa has always I think there's a lot of mutual respect between the both of them. I think in a way it kind of seems like Clarissa either admires or maybe looks up to Franchon in a way. I don't know. But I will say the one thing that is different to me in seeing the way that Clarissa was talking about this fight at the press conference is Franchon ain't scared of Clarissa. Like, that's number one. Like, a lot of these girls that have come in here to fight Clarissa, a lot of times it kind of just seems like they're happy to be there, right? Like, it's the biggest fight that they've gotten a chance to have. And so, win or lose, I'm already doing all right because I'm in a bigger fight. I'm in a world title fight, you know, that kind of thing. And it's not a disrespect to anybody. This fight's different because if you go back and check out the chat that I had with Tony Harrison, like, he straight up said that on the chat with Tony Harrison that he knew Franchon's coming in here to fight. Like, she ain't coming in here like scared of her. You know, you can see by the way she was dressed up at the press conference, she's not going to be outdone by Clarissa as far as like the pomp and circumstance and the pro wrestling of the fight game. But the other thing that makes this fight very interesting to me is that Franchon has a lot to prove. Franchon has a lot to prove. She'd come in here and shock the world. You know, everybody's talking about, you know, who's Clarissa going to fight in these last fights? And is she fighting? Because the number one comment that we were getting, the two top comments we've been getting on our coverage from the auto show is that people either didn't know Franchon or it's the other side that people just want to see Clarissa lose. Or then you've always, or I guess three sides. Then you've got, you know, the loyal GWOAT fans. So I don't know, man. I don't know if some of the luster is worn off. I think Clarissa is still always going to be hot here in Michigan. I think you know, that's obviously going to be a thing. You know, she's going to have quite the entrance as she's got Boozy playing her out to the ring on Sunday as well. So I might have
to get to be a part of this one.
Yeah, bro. I might have to wipe me down after this.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, dude, I think it's going to be a spectacle. I think it's going to be dope. But like the overall moral of this fight is, I just think it's going to be more of a fight, and I think Clarissa knows that. I don't think she's scared of her, but I think Clarissa knows that there's a lot more of a fight here, maybe than there was in, say, even her last fight with Lonnie Daniels. Yeah. It'll just be interesting to see how that plays out, because you also have to wonder, is it a real thing? Could Clarissa be, you know, so comfortable on the fact that her and Franchon have fought before that, you know, she just thinks that, you know, because she was able to beat her before, that she'll be able to beat her again, you know? And when you got somebody that's going to be hungry, like I would assume Franchon's going to be, it could make for an interesting fight.
Yeah, for me, it's what style does Clarissa come to the attack in this fight? I feel like, you know, we've seen her in their last couple be everything from marching down to, you know, very plotting and, you know, like intentional with her strikes and stuff. So for this one, like you say, Kyle, I mean, Franchon definitely with the one with more to prove and potentially more to gain from the victory in this one. So
undoubtedly, you know, this isn't much more to gain for Clarissa. This is going to be another notch on the belt. Franchon on the other side, Franchon comes in there and wins. She immediately just put herself on the map, and then, you know, then they're going to have to fight a third time.
Yeah.
So not only did you put yourself on the map, Franchon just got a huge payday and probably it's probably going to get an even bigger payday to run it back the third time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's going to be
interesting on Sunday. That's for sure.
And that's not all we've got on that card, bro. You've got our friend Sammy Worthington is going to be defending her WBA interim title on this card. You got Sedarius Simmons that we saw knock somebody the fuck out to fights into Fox. It will be fighting on there again. Dude, it's going to be a good night of fights down at Little Caesars Arena. If you guys can't be there at the arena, you got to make sure you check it out on DAZN.
Kyle, you gonna pull out the mink coat this time?
I got to pull out the mink and the buffs, huh?
Yeah, dude.
Clarissa had a pink fur on with the red in between it, bro. Man,
what's that meme? You're not gonna know I got my taxes back, but I'll show up in like a mink coat, just like walking a tiger, you know.
I don't know, man. These Chat GPT pictures you be making. I mean, are you trying to foreshadow something to us?
Hey, man, I'm not giving out no concrete evidence of nothing.
This guy's gonna end up like Tiger King.
Yeah, no. I was like,
no, yeah, no. Wait, yeah,
no. That ended all bad. Everything ended all bad for that.
He's gonna get him a tiger. Next thing you know, Pontiac man dies after not feeding Tiger.
Yeah, dude. That wouldn't be good for me. No, maybe I'll just stick to the minks. Minks and the buffs. Tiger mink. Is that legal?
No.
Depends on where you buy it.
Oh, dude, we do know what's legal, and that's going to be the great action that we're getting this Sunday at Little Caesars Arena. We've got big UFC stuff coming up with the Max Holloway fight as well. Plenty of good things to be talking about. Also, we were supposed to be joined earlier this week by Zoe Nowicki. We talked to her last about her fight in Invicta. She's going to be making her LFA debut. Love to see it when people are making their move to different promotions and all that kind of stuff. Lots of stuff down the pike here. Stay tuned. Maybe you could even see a knockouts and 3 counts in WWE thing soon. We'll find out soon. But with that being said, once again, shout out to our sponsors, Michigan Street Unlimited. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. If you guys are watching this on Millions, do me a favor. Hit the follow button. Please, greatly appreciate you. With that being said, we got the fights this weekend. If you are coming down to Little Caesars, make sure you let us know. Comment on the post, man. Let us know where you're at. We'd love to meet up with you guys. Good nights, good fights. If you're at the fights at the Motor City on Friday, I will be there at the Soundboard Friday night. Lots of good stuff going down in Michigan. You got Astronomicon coming up and more. And you never know who could be filling that 4th box on the show. So until next time and in the in-between time, hit that button. Peace.
Peace.